Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica Dodds. This is my second video on my channel, so I'm really excited because this is an important topic that I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to be talking about anxiety and maybe some depression, but mainly anxiety because that is what I have been challenged with these past couple of months, maybe even years. But before I get into the whole spiel, make sure you are subscribed, turn on your post notifications. I'm super happy that you all are here. We have about 200 subscribers, which is a lot more than I expected, and I'm really excited to be filming more mommy content and more personal content with you guys. So to get started, I have some notes down below in my notebook. So if you see me glaring about, it's because I have my notes and I don't want to miss like any topics or any sort of important things. But to get started on the whole story, I have had, I think, anxiety, mainly separation anxiety since I was a kid. But I didn't really admit it or know what it was. But now, fully understanding what anxiety is, I can now identify that that was separation anxiety that I had experienced when I was a kid. Recently though, now being a mother, specifically a stay-at-home mother to one baby, I have a son named Kylan. If you guys don't know, he is 17 months. Specifically to being a mother, I have grown to have a lot more intense anxiety. And while doing a lot of research and talking to my doctors, I have been able to identify my triggers, how I react when I am having like an anxiety attack, what helps me calm down, and those types of things. To get started though, I want to say that I am not a medical professional at all. I'm just an average mommy going through what every other mom goes through. So if you feel like you have anxiety or battling depression, I would strongly advise you to either seek help with a family member or with a medical professional or whatever makes you feel more comfortable. I was at first not comfortable at all with talking to a medical professional or a therapist, so I spoke to my husband Patrick. And after having a conversation with my husband Patrick is when I was comfortable enough to talk with my doctor, my OBGYN, Dr. Fish. She's amazing and has helped me a lot with my anxiety. So how it started, or how I feel I started to notice I had severe anxiety, was these things that would trigger me really easy. Like I would be really easily triggered by small things. Changes in Kylan's schedule or interruptions in Kylan's schedule, like his nap schedule or his feeding schedule. Slight changes or things that would get in the way of it would trigger me really bad, and I would get a lot of anger towards anyone around me or anything that is messing up the schedule. Also, I would be very fatigued, really sleepy for no reason. Throughout the day, I would just want to sleep, and I would ignore things like brushing my teeth or brushing my hair or washing my face or cleaning up. I would only take care of Kylan. Gladly, he's very well taken care of, but I wouldn't be taking care of myself or my household. Oh, family related issues were very triggering to me, and I didn't know how to handle them properly. Also, I would say starting things like starting assignments when I was in school. Starting assignments gave me a lot of anxiety, or starting anything, starting a project at home, starting a vlog, starting this channel gave me a lot of anxiety, and which is why I put it off. I put starting things off, or I would procrastinate. But it's until now that I realize that it's anxiety and that's what it is. A couple of the feelings that I would go through would include panic, fatigue, anger, especially when I couldn't control things. I had a lot of frustration, procrastination, I had sadness, and just a lot of confusion because I was like, what the heck am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? And it took me a lot to identify why I was feeling this way or what was just like triggering me. So that's why I started writing in my notebook, and I wrote down all of my triggers, and I tried to make sure that I could breathe and take a moment, like this is something that's probably gonna trigger me and I should be more aware of what I'm saying, of my actions, because it would come out as anger and in turn would harm my relationship with my husband or a relationship with a loved one. I struggled though with identifying if it was anxiety that I was feeling or depression, because I have learned that those two things kind of intertwine, especially postpartum. Sometimes what you feel and you think is anxiety could also be involved with depression, which is why I had a long talk with my doctor, and she kind of explained to me the differences and that it's very common for women to experience both anxiety and depression postpartum. Some things that I listed as anxiety would be like, I had a fear of everything, specifically leaving my house and driving. You guys always know that me and Patrick always joke around about like how I don't drive or I don't want to leave the house or stuff like that, but it's a genuine fear that I had, and I really needed to work on getting over it, because if worse came to worse and I had to leave the house in an emergency, it took a lot out of me to have to drive. Or if I did have to drive, I would want to plan in days in advance and hours in advance. I would be looking at Google Maps, like planning my route, or just like if I encountered something on the road that isn't planned out on my route, I would have a meltdown and like freak out, and that's not okay. That's not normal. Granted, I did want to blame me having a fear of driving over a previous car accident that I had, but that was over 2 years ago, and even after that car accident, I was still driving normally and I was fully capable of, you know, driving properly. So I needed to stop using that as an excuse and just be aware that it's my anxiety that was causing this, and it's an issue that I need to tackle. I had really fast mood changes also. I would be happy for one moment and then out of nowhere I would be really, really sad. Or I would be sad one moment and then I would get really angry out of nowhere. And I couldn't identify like, why am I mad? Why am I sad? Like, this is really weird. And it's one of those things that's like, I don't know how to explain it to someone else. Like, I didn't know how to explain it to my husband. And he would also get frustrated because he would be like, I don't know how to help you, dude. I mean, he wouldn't call me dude, but he would be like, I don't know how to help you. And he's obviously never experienced this sort of feeling. So it was hard for us to kind of connect and get to the root of the issue. What I have done to help my anxiety, and I don't like saying depression, I don't like calling it a depression, because I don't know, I was still capable of doing stuff, and I never had the thought of harming myself or harming my child or any such thing, but it was a deep sadness that I had. So what I did for my anxiety and my sadness was I started working out. I kind of changed my diet. I tried putting myself on a stricter schedule so that I had a purpose during the day, okay? I had a checklist. I wake up, I take my medication, you know, brush my teeth, wash my face. Those simple things, well, to some might seem simple, but to me it was like, okay, a great accomplishment that I did that day, because I wouldn't be doing those things when I was under these sad episodes. That's what I would do, but it wouldn't stick, and I still felt very anxious and frustrated. So that's when I decided it was time to go to my doctor, and it was amazing. It was the best decision that I could have made for myself and my family, and I do truly feel a lot better. I'm currently on an off-brand medication of, I think it's Zoloft. I'm not quite sure. I have it written down and I will show you in a second. It's called Sertraline, something like that. 50 mg daily. I take that. I've been on that for 2.5 weeks, and I have noticed a couple things. I've noticed right away that the first couple days that I was on it gave me an upset stomach. It gave me a headache and nausea, which I was like, oh no, am I pregnant? But I wasn't pregnant, thank God. I mean, not thank God, because I would love to have another baby, but not right now, especially going through all of this. So I was freaking out, but I talked to my doctor and she was like, oh, it's just the side effects, which it wore off in maybe 3 days. It wore off, those side effects. I have noticed though that I react better to taking it at night than taking it in the morning. Right before I go to bed, I take it. When I used to take it during the day, it would make me very sleepy and I just couldn't get much done. So I take it at night. And I think it has helped a lot with my mood swings, my frustration, and especially just my anxiety. I don't get this overwhelming, like, debilitating feeling anymore. I just feel like, okay, it's something that happens and I can accomplish the rest of my day, you know? So I'm very thankful to my doctor for getting me this medication. It's A1. I am fearful of it though, because I have noticed that a lot of women tend to gain weight on it, which I'm like, I don't really want to gain weight. But my mental health, I think, is like the most important thing for me right now, especially now that it's like getting in the way of my relationship. But everything's good right now. I feel good. I was very scared that I would have a lot of anxiety on Kylan's baptism day. If you're interested in the baptism, Patrick has a video on our vlog channel, The Dodds Family. You can go see that there. But that day I had a lot of anxiety. But I took my medication that day. I did some journaling and I was like, you know what? It's good. And the day was actually really good. And I was very thankful of that, because leading up until that day gave me a lot of anxiety. Which is another reason why we are not having a wedding this year, because I had a lot of anxiety planning it, behind the scenes, family stuff. So that's why we're not having our wedding, which I'm really sad about. But it's probably for the best, because now I feel a lot better and I know that I can do it more prepared down the road. So, to wrap this whole thing up, if you are battling with anxiety and depression, whether you're a mother or not a mother, please don't feel alone. You're not alone. I'm here to talk to you. Or I would really like this channel to be a page where other mothers can like connect with one another, or girls my age where you can connect with one another, because we truly do need to stick together and just help other moms who are feeling this way. I don't have a lot of friends in my area, so I'm hoping this channel can be just like a community for all of us to get along. We can all be badass bitches together. So I hope everyone is staying happy and healthy, most importantly, both physically and mentally. Mental taken care of, or like mental spa day, is very important for every woman, every man as well, but specifically for women, because we go through a lot with our freaking hormones, man. Like, I swear, hormones. And you know, I've been acting this way and I'm not even on birth control. I mean, never mind, don't add that, never mind. I can't say that I'm not on birth control. Anyways, I hope that everyone enjoyed this video. Please feel free to comment down below your experience with medication, or what has helped you with your anxiety or depression. What are things that you think that are good for other women to try out? And hopefully we can all be better. But yeah, make sure to follow me on my social media. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I love you guys. Bye.